Okay, Rick Wilson here. I'm going to show you the easy way to install a water heater. I've done took the old water heater out and got the new one in its place, but it's not hooked up at all. It's just sitting here. See, it's just sitting here. You can move it around. But anyway, the problem is the old water heater had the cold water line come in at the bottom, and this one does not. And the hot water line came in near the top on the side of the old heater, and this one does not. Most of your new water heaters have the connections on top like this one does. So your options are to go find the exact same heater you had, and that's not likely. So you're probably going to have to do some kind of plumbing for the new heater. And normally most people would just call a plumber and pay several $100s to do what I'm about to show you. That only takes a few minutes. But you got to go out and get a couple parts. Let me show you those. And when it comes to water fittings, you got two different kinds of thread. You got pipe thread, which is what you're going to find on your water heater and most of your pipes in your house. And then you've got hose thread, which is like a garden hose takes. See the difference? The garden hose, as the threads are farther apart, in the pipe thread they're closer together, and the garden hose has more of a slant on the threads. But that's the two different kinds of threads. So what you want to do is you want to go out and get one of these. This has pipe thread on the inside, and it'll fit right on here like this. And this is hose thread on the... Now, the first thing we're going to do is wrap a little bit of Teflon tape around this fitting, and that's so that it don't leak. You can use pipe dope. Pipe dope is the old way. Teflon tape is the new way. So you just wrap that around a little bit, break it off, and now you can put your fitting on there. There. Now you've gone from pipe thread to hose thread. You put this little adapter on here and do the same thing. Do the same thing with the other piece here. There. Now we've got our adapters on both the intake and the outtake, and these are ready. Now we're going to move to the water supply side. Now here's your water lines from the house. This is the hot going out of the heater into the house, and down at the bottom is the intake. But you'll get something similar. You're going from pipe thread to hose thread. So you're just going to... And believe it or not, hand tight is all you need on this. So if you do it this way, so say next time you replace your water heater, you'll be able to change your water heater almost with no tools. You just be able to almost do it with your bare hands, almost. Just a couple little tools is all you'll need. So anyway, so now you got hose thread here, and you got hose thread up here. And now down at the bottom, I did do something a little bit different. Here at the bottom, I did something a little bit different. All right, here's my adapter that goes from pipe thread to hose thread. But then I did go out and buy a valve that would go on like a garden hose. And see, there's water there. If I turn the valve, the water's ready to go. But this way I'll have a valve to shut my water heater off. I had to shut the water off to the whole house when this thing ruptured. But now I'll be able to turn just the hot water off to the whole house if I need to. And so next is the easy part. And so next I just went out and bought a couple of washer hoses. But don't just buy any old cheap washer hose. See, I bought these high burst washer hoses. These things got the hose, and then they're covered with stainless steel, and then they're covered again with rubber. And this thing, it says it'll take 10 times the normal burst strength. It'll take 2,000 pounds of water pressure. So there's no chance in hell of this hose ever breaking. So, and then all you got to do is screw it onto those connectors now. And this is the water coming in, so we're just going to... I got the blue hose. There's a blue hose and a red hose. These hoses were color coded, but I'm going to lay the camera down because I can't really screw this on with just one hand. There, now it's screwed on, and like I said, that's just a washer hose. It's a high pressure washer hose. That way I don't have to worry about this thing bursting on me in the future. Now all you gotta do is run this thing up to the top with the other end. Now right here is the other end of that hose, and we just screw that on there. Now you don't need the Teflon tape on these because there's a rubber gasket in here just like your garden hose has. As long as you get it tight, it won't leak. Now I could just do this hand tight, but I'm going to take just a pair of pliers. And just make sure it's really good and tight. Now the nice thing is this stainless steel, it won't kink or on you or anything, and you can just run it any old way. You don't have to measure, and see it just runs down there and up here. Now we're going to do the same thing with the hot side, or the outside. This is the in, this is the out. Now you can see I got the cold running from where the cold comes in up to the top and screwed in there, and then the hot's the same way. Now I had the hot was a lot closer, so I got some excess line here, but I just kind of wrapped it around, and it doesn't matter. And now it's hooked up, except for the electric. Got to do the electric yet. But before you do the electric, you want to put water in your water heater. You do not want to hook up the electric and turn this thing on before there's water in it, because you'll burn your elements out really fast. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to turn the water on down here at this valve. And you need to go turn on one of your sinks so that the water can come out. I want to point out you need to turn on the hot water in one of your sinks, not the cold water. Just turn on the hot water because you want to get all the air out of the line, and you want to get this heater completely filled up and water going out the sink before you connect your electric and turn it on. Now this is an old back utility room sink, but I turned the hot water on and you can feel the air and you can hear the air coming out. And that's once you get the water coming out of here solid, then your tank is full. But you gotta wait. You don't want to turn the power on to the tank until that tank is full. You gotta get water coming out the hot on your faucet first. Okay, it's flowing all water now. It stopped blowing air. So that the water heater is full of water now, and you can hook the electric and turn it on now. First thing you want to do is make sure the electric is shut off, because the water heater, most water heaters are 240 volts, and 240 volts will kill you if you touch it. So the breaker to the water heater is off. If you want to really be safe, you'll shut the breaker to the water heater off, and then you'll shut your main breaker off. And if you really want to go safe, you'll go out to the pole and shut it off out there too. So it's shut off 3 different places, so there's no way in hell you're going to kill yourself by getting bit by 240. The electric's pretty straightforward actually. You got a ground wire, which is your bare wire, and that hooks to a little green thing over here, a little green bolt. And then you got your two hot wires with 240. There's between each of these wires and that ground wire is 120 volts, but between the 2 hot wires is 240 volts. Now I have turned it off with the breaker, and I have actually checked this with a meter to make sure that it was dead. And I'm still going to try not to touch these wires when I do this. And there I have them connected. And you're supposed to tuck these down inside of here, but I'm just going to leave this hanging out. It's all pretty well covered. You can tape it up however you want to do it. I have no kids here. It's just me and the wife, so I don't have to worry about this. And it's back here in the closet. And then this whole thing will get closed in. And so that's it. It's done. And now we turn the breaker on. And that's it. We got hot water again in a couple hours. It'll take a little while for that to heat up. So that's it.